Hello, welcome to Divinely Guided Yoga. My name is Alicia. For today's class, I decided to use the theme Rooted Within Yourself. I'm currently reading a book called The Power of Now, written by Eckahart Tolle. In the book, the question is asked, what does it mean to be rooted within yourself? Below is a passage that Eckahart goes into explanation of what it means to him to be rooted within yourself. And I wrote down a passage and I would like to read it to you guys just to give you something to continue to think about as we're moving through these poses. What does it mean to be rooted within yourself? To inhabit your body fully, to always have some of your attention in the inner energy field of your body. To feel the body from within, so to speak. Body awareness keeps you present. It anchors you in the now. After reading that passage, the first thing that I thought about was feeling grounded. So what I took from that is being rooted within yourself is also similar to being grounded. So being able to sit still with yourself in the present moment, being able to control anything, being able to block out any outside noise or distractions so that you can hear and truly listen to what your body and spirit is needing from you in that moment. So today I'm going to show you a couple of yoga poses that I feel like has helped me feel rooted within myself. And hopefully after today's class, you're able to feel rooted within yourself and know exactly what your body is asking for. Pose that we're going to start out in is mountain pose. So go ahead and come to the front of your mat. Create a little bit of distance in your legs. Make sure you're standing up straight. Your spine is aligned. Take the palms of your hands and bring them forward. Make sure that your feet are grounded into the mat. One way that I like to do that is I like to take all 10 toes and lift them up. And this will definitely take practice. So once you have all 10 of your toes lifted, see if you can lower them down one at a time. Or if you're like me, maybe 2 or 4 come down at a time. But it helps me get a better grip of the mat. So once you're feeling more grounded, I invite you to close your eyes. And just take this moment to pay attention to how your breathing is. Take a deep inhale, slow exhale. This time as you inhale, imagine air moving towards the front of your rib cage. And as you exhale, imagine that air being pushed towards the back of your rib cage. We're going to take one collective deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. And now we're going to move into Warrior One. So for Warrior One, you're going to turn to whatever way your mat is going the longest. We're going to start on the right leg, and we're going to just bring that right leg back, making sure that we're standing up on our toes. Bringing a bend into that left knee. You're going to bring both arms above your head like this. So just like in mountain pose, if you want to use the technique of making sure that your feet are grounded into the mat, you can lift up all 5 toes and then see if you can lower them one down at a time. Maybe 2 or 3 will come down. And for that back leg, which is the right leg, even though you're coming up on your toes, you still want to make sure that your toes are grounded. Taking a deep inhale and exhale. Maybe you sink down lower as you exhale. Take this time to check and see if your knee is in good alignment, making sure it's not going past that toe. Taking another deep inhale. Imagining that air moving towards the front of your rib cage. Maybe as you inhale, your shoulders lift up past your ears. And as you exhale, those shoulders come down just a little bit. I'm going to do one more deep inhale. Exhale. And now we're going to switch to the opposite side. So this time, stepping your left foot back, coming up on your toes, bringing a bend to that right knee, making sure the knee is not going past your toes, making sure that front foot is grounded into the mat. Arms above your head, taking a deep inhale, lifting your shoulders past your ears, noticing how your chest is lifted. As you exhale, notice how your chest is lowering. Maybe your shoulders come down just a little bit. Taking another deep inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and step that foot back up. And now we're going to move into tree pose. So what I like about tree pose is tree pose comes into like different types of variations, just depending on your comfort level and what feels best for you. You can also start out in like the easier variation and you can work your way up and challenge yourself. So go ahead and we're going to start with the right leg and bring that foot to the outside of your ankle. Now you can choose to keep your hands down to your side like this, or maybe you take your hands and put them on your hips, or you can take the palm of your hands and bring them together in your heart center, just like this, or maybe you bring your arms above your head. Making sure that the foot that is flat on the mat is grounded. Making sure you're standing up tall, your spine is nice and straight. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale, pushing the air to the front of your rib cage. Exhale, pushing that air towards the back of your rib cage. One more deep inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to switch to the opposite side. So let's just say your left leg is just feeling a little bit more challenging and maybe you raise your foot to the outside of your knee. Or you can take your foot and bring it to the inside of your thigh. You can keep your arms down. Bring your arms to your hips. Bring the palm of your hands to your heart center. Or you can lift your arms all the way up. Whenever I'm explaining to my students the variation of tree pose, I always say maybe your tree grows branches now and you can bring your arms up. So from here, take a deep inhale. Slow exhale. Another deep inhale. Slow exhale out. Notice how your chest is moving up and down. Deep inhale. Release into a slow exhale. Now go ahead and bring that foot down to the ground. Moving into our next pose, which is a yogi squat. Another name for this is malasana. So create a distance in between your feet. Bring the palms of your hands together. Start to slowly lower yourself down into a squatting position. Maybe it helps to turn your feet out. Come all the way down into that squatting position, making sure that your elbows is in between your knees, keeping the palms of the hands together at the heart center, just like this. Now, if you have a block at home or a couple books or a pillow, you can take those and place them underneath as you sit down so that you're more comfortable in this pose. Each pose that we move into today, I just want to make sure that you guys are your most comfortable, because remember, I want you to be rooted within yourself. So take a deep inhale, making sure that spine is in alignment, you're sitting up straight. Exhale. Another deep inhale. Exhale. Last inhale. Feeling your chest lifted. Exhale as you start to feel your chest lower down. Now, if you have a block, pillows, or books, you can remove them from underneath. Sit all the way down. Matter of fact, go ahead and come to your knees for me. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me better. And from here, you're going to choose between one or two poses to move into. You can either come to sit on the tops of your heels into Thunderbolt pose, or you can create some distance in between the heels and sit right in between that gap into Hero's pose. For me, I prefer Thunderbolt pose, so I'm going to come to the top of those heels. What helps me feel grounded and rooted within myself while I'm in this pose is I just take the both of my hands and place them over my knees. Make sure I'm sitting up straight and tall. That spine is in alignment. Let's take a moment and just notice how our breathing is in this pose. Maybe you're breathing a little bit heavier because you started out in the standing position and now we're sitting down. Or maybe you notice your breathing has slowed down because you've been consistently doing deep breathing. Whatever the case may be, go ahead and just take a note of that. And feel free to add whatever movement you need to while you're in this pose that'll help you feel more rooted within yourself. Take a deep inhale. Slow exhale. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. One more deep inhale. Slow open mouth exhale. Next, we're going to move into a bridge pose. So go ahead and bring the tops of your feet to the mat, making sure your knee is still bent. You're going to lower it all the way down. Make sure the palms of your hands are down on the mat. Now from here, go ahead and lift your hips up. Maybe you bring the heel of your feet closer to your fingertips and lift your hips up. Now, if you have books, pillows, or a yogi block, you can take those and place them underneath your hips for a supported bridge pose if this feels better for you. Now go ahead and notice how your chest may feel slightly lifted. This is a heart opening pose. So within this pose, you're able to move into a deeper inhale. So go ahead and take a deep inhale for me. Slow exhale. Deep inhale. Pushing that air towards the front of your rib cage. Exhale, pushing the air towards the back of your rib cage. One more deep inhale. Slow exhale. Now go ahead and remove that pillow, book, or block from underneath you. You're going to come to a seated position, but bringing your legs out long. Go ahead and flex your feet forward, then flex them down just to stretch the ankles out. Our next pose that we're moving into is a seated forward fold. So we're going to take a deep inhale, bringing the arms above our heads. And this time as we exhale, you're going to start to fold forward. Maybe you grab the outside of your feet. Maybe you wrap your hands around the top of your toes. Maybe your hands come to your ankles, or you bring those hands down to the mat, whichever is more comfortable for you. And take a moment and feel yourself grounded in this position. Take a deep inhale. Maybe you feel yourself creating more space, and as you exhale, fold down deeper. Take another deep inhale. Exhale. One more deep inhale. This time as you exhale, releasing down into the pose. Now we're going to move into our final pose of the class. This is easy seat. If you have a locked pillow or book, you can place it underneath, just to give yourself some elevation. Bring those legs out, cross in front of you. When I'm in easy seat, I like to take my hands and place them on top of my knees. I also like to take my hands, and sometimes I'll bring one to my heart and one to my stomach. That way I'm able to pay attention to how my heart is racing, or maybe it's beating slow. I can notice how quickly my chest is moving in and out, or how slowly it's lifting and how slowly it's lowering down. I can pay attention to my stomach as I'm taking deep inhales, feeling the air pushing towards the back, and as I'm exhaling, feeling my stomach expand out. Go ahead and choose which variation of easy seat you would like to use. Whether you bring both hands to the top of your knees, or one hand over your heart and one hand over your stomach. Take this moment to notice how your breathing is now that we are in our final pose. Maybe your breathing has completely slowed down now that you have been consistently Taking deep inhales and deep exhales. And you've been able to find yourself deeply rooted within yourself during this practice. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale. If you're using a block, books, or pillows, go ahead and remove them from underneath. Thank you all for creating time and space in your day to come and focus on this practice. I hope that after we do all these poses and remembering the passage from the beginning, that you're able to find ways to help connect with yourself, sit still with yourself in the present moment, and be deeply rooted within yourself. Peace.